November 10th, 2013. It's the Biff Podcast. I'm Dave Peterson, here on behalf of my bandmates Seth and Joe. Joining me tonight is Rita Schillereff, a longtime friend, supporter, contributor to Biff. Hi Rita, thanks for joining me.
Hi Dave, thanks for having me.
You've appeared in a Biff music video, the Biff Blues, and you were in an episode of 5 Minutes with Biff. Mm-hmm. And so we're here today. Really, one of the main purposes of the Biff podcast is documentation, so that we're making a record of things that we're currently doing and also revisiting things from the past. And so I wanted to do a series where I talk with a couple of people about the music scene that was going on in the town that we grew up in, town of Parker, Colorado, in the mid to late 90s. And just that's why Rita and I are here today to talk about that and a little bit about what went on. I was thinking to start out, it'd be a good idea to kind of set the cultural context, both locally and nationally, of the time, so we kind of know what the setting is.
Cool.
So I don't know. I think that the mid to late 90s was the greatest time to be a teenager. It was a great time for music. What do you remember about it, or what did you love the most?
I would agree it was a good time. I don't remember any big political stresses going on.
Yeah, Clinton was
getting
blowjobs at the Oval Office. Gas was 97 cents a gallon. Right. It was good times for sure. Yeah. No wars going on.
No, just good music.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I was just a teenager, kind of naive, but it was fun.
We were all kind of riding the wave that the splash of Nirvana created, and enjoying that.
That was still pretty fresh.
So Parker was and is, it's I guess you'd call it a suburb of Denver. It's about 20 miles southeast of Denver. Predominantly white, predominantly middle, upper class. I was looking online about the population. Back then it was around 10,000 people. Today it's like almost 50,000.
Wow.
So it's grown a lot in the last 15 years or so. I don't know if you call it rural. I mean, it's there's definitely, like, my family lived on 5 acres, kind of away from town a little bit, but it's definitely, you don't drive very far and you're in the middle of nowhere.
Right. And back then, I think it was just still in the early stages of developing into more of a city, quote, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was on the rural side. It had a rural feel.
Yeah,
like where we went to high school, Ponderosa was way far out.
Right.
It felt like at the time from town.
And so definitely not a lot to do for teenagers. And really that's where music came in for us, because for me, I always tell people music is what kept me out of trouble as a teenager.
Sure.
In a small town with nothing to do, music's really your saving grace. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. All created our own bands, made our own music, and really, I guess the scene started because we all had the technology to make records and play shows, and that was. I mean, nowadays, anyone can get a computer and record a really good sounding album. Computer and a few microphones, and I think back then was kind of the start of the home recording revolution, where you could buy a multi-track recorder and make a pretty decent recording. So that's what we did, and it was pretty great. My mom worked for a realtor who was part of the Lions Club, or maybe he was even the president of the local Lions Club, and so my mom helped me approach him to sponsor us to put on these gigs
I was thinking about that. I couldn't really remember how it all came to be. Because as far as I was concerned, we were just invited to play. So that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff here too.
So, I mean, basically they provided us the funding to rent the venue because there was a couple theaters in town, or we even played at an old church for a while. We had to get security, so we had to rent a cop basically for the evening, and they also helped us to get like soda and pizza to sell to everybody. Mm-hmm. And so that first concert was in January of '97, and it was first your band Mystical Union, our band Elysium, John, Adam, and Scott's band, who I know that they went by Powwow, and I maybe the Aquabats at some point. They had a couple different names.
Aquabat sounds right at the time.
Yeah. And then there was Old Dodo, also known later as Winterville. And that was a huge show. Like, probably between 100 and 200 kids showed up to that.
It was packed. What was that? What was the dome called? Did it have an official name at the time?
I mean, it was called the Parker Main Street Center.
Was it?
I think most people called it the Kwanzaa Hut.
They did.
Or that's what, like, it was.
Okay.
It was like a big, like, it looked like an airplane hangar or something.
Yeah. I just called it the Dome.
Yeah, the Parker Superdome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on Parker and Main Street.
Yeah,
well, on Main Street.
It is no longer there,
right.
Sadly. But so yeah, like, and those shows happened almost monthly for a long time.
We had a lot of them. It was awesome.
Yeah, and maybe because we were doing those, more kids around the area were more inspired to start their own bands, I was thinking. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what kind of fed the scene. And just to give us all a picture, like, I have a list here of maybe 15 bands.
Oh, wow.
That were from the area.
Cool. Oh, let's hear them.
So there's Elysium, which was started out as me, Joe, and Corey. We were all members of Biff at one point. Elysium and Biff. As I mentioned, there was Old Dodo, which was later Winterville. Mystical Union, which was your first band. Pepper's Ghost, which was your other band.
I think Pepper's Ghost officially came a little bit before Mystical Union.
Oh, really?
Just for recording purposes.
The Bastard Squad, later known as Jack Asphalt. Who were probably our closest friends and who we played the most shows with after a certain amount of time. Powwow, or Aquabats, whatever they were called.
I don't remember Powwow. Aquabats, huh?
But wasn't there a sign band called Aquabats? That's why I wasn't sure if they really went with that name or not.
Maybe it was something. Okay.
Loser Syndrome, which was John Wells. That was his band.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah, cool.
I recorded them.
Right.
There was The Custodian.
Yeah, they had a few names.
Yeah, their other name was Die the Flu.
Yes, and before that they were Damaged Goods.
Damaged Goods. I forgot about that one, yeah. I gotta write that down. Forsaken Toad, which was Chicheri's band.
Cool, yeah.
Trey Funk, which I think they were actually from Castle Rock.
Okay, I remember we played the outdoor show with them. Yes.
Yeah, and they played at our high school a few times too.
Cool.
Pop Pariah, which was Adam Hammond, Adam Frank, Sean. They played at that last barbecue our senior year.
Okay, yep, I remember that. Bad
Andy. I don't know who was in that band, but I know we played with them.
Okay.
That might have been even like after the year 2000.
Okay.
Fret. They were from Elizabeth,
which
is a town like a little further out than Parker. And then Jeff, the singer from Fret, was in Shrank.
Oh, yeah.
Who we worshiped those guys. They were a little bit older than us, but they were great.
Cool.
And then there was a band called Midnight Sun that we played with at O'Brien Park.
Okay, wow.
they were instrumental. We really liked them too, but I think they were Elizabeth too.
Wow.
So there was the Jim Jones Show Band and Review.
Oh yeah.
So it was Seamus and Sean, and like Joe joined that band after he left Elysium, and then soon after though, like I replaced him as the drummer somehow. Okay. It was like really ridiculous, and I feel bad about it now. But you know, we played I think 3 songs or something at that one show.
What show?
The outdoor show you were talking about.
Did you? The O'Brien Park show.
We played Chemical Brothers, Block Rock and Beats.
Oh, I kind of remember that. Oh, leave it to the O'Toole brothers.
Yeah. And then I remember in John's band that Lily girl sang that day.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yep.
I don't know what she's. I think she sang in one of the Jim Jones songs too. I'm pretty sure that Seamus played "Hurt" in 9 Inch Nails and she sang it.
Crazy. Okay. Yeah. And
then of course you remember the little side project we had with Andrew, the Truth Against Tradition, featuring 2 bass players.
Oh, jeez.
I still have some of that stuff.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was interesting.
I don't remember at all. I remember it was, like, so difficult for me to try and wrap my head around 2 basses. It's like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, anyway. It's fun. Truth Against Tradition.
I can just remember on the Shit Ass Records webpage, I had, like, a whole list of all these bands, like, including my little solo project and Corey's solo project.
Corey had a solo project?
Yeah, I remember Another Lie.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Duh.
Another Lie, and then my thing was called Chakra.
Yep. Wow. Prolific people.
Prolific, yeah.
Guys. Everyone was so talented, too. I was just thinking about that, too. There wasn't anyone that was just, like, bad. They were all good, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know how you grow up as a teenager without it.
Yeah, I know.
I guess you do drugs.
I know. Look, it's on the internet now. I mean, we had the internet, but it wasn't, like, as big in life as it is now. It wasn't, like, a huge part of our life at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think. I don't know.
I mean, I think it was for me,
Was it?
like that last year of high school, because I met Matt, and he taught me HTML, and he was such a computer whiz that my mind was constantly blown by the things you could do.
Yeah.
And then that's when I got my first computer, and
yeah. That was a day with, it was a time when, computers, like, we didn't have cell phones, I don't think.
We were just barely getting into cell phones. Like, people had pagers still.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so funny to think back. I remember the barn show? I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, the barn show.
The barn show. It was like, I think we had a show scheduled at the Main Street Center, I want to say, and something went wrong.
Yeah, and they had to cancel it because we didn't have the security guard.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And then there was like all these kids out there like, what are we going to do?
And then some weird kid that nobody really knew was like, we could play in my barn.
It was Will Jennings. I know him.
Oh, did you know?
Way back in the day,
Yeah.
elementary school. Yep. So we all like got in our cars and went out into who knows where.
Yeah, somewhere way out there on a dirt road.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have talked about that because that was a big moment in Biff history.
Yeah, and there's footage of that because that's the show where Joe smashed his bass. It was pretty famous.
Exactly.
Around town.
But that's another example of just how cool the Parker scene was. It's like, the show's canceled, we'll take it somewhere else. And it happened, and it was awesome. Memorable night.
Yeah. I wonder how much the geography of Parker played into it, because it was like a contained town.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like there was definitely like a pretty good stretch of highway like leading in and out of it.
Yep.
So you we probably felt like the unity of because of that.
Yep. I think you're right. That probably helped a lot. And again, with the internet not being as prevalent as it is now, you just, I don't know, make connections with people in person and form type groups of people. And that's mostly how you saw people and spoke to people back then. And we had phones, obviously, but there's only so much you could do. We didn't have the internet as prevalent, I guess, again, where you could just text message people all the time or chat with them on the internet. So that's how we hung out. We went to these shows and saw tons of people and then hung out into the wee hours. I have a couple of these tapes where it's we're going to Village Inn afterwards, okay.
I can remember going to Village Inn after shows.
Right. That's how we...
So those are just the ones I can think of. I know I'm probably missing some.
Well, I wanted to add, Liz Clark.
She
played a lot.
Yeah, she did, and she was a singer-songwriter. How could I forget that? I was in her band for a short time. I played bass for her for about a month until she stopped calling me.
Yeah.
I even did a show with her. And then Luke Goodhue.
I know, did he have his...
I feel like he had a band. I know his band later was Streamline, but I feel like he had something else. And then he was in Old Dodo, too.
Yeah, right. I don't remember. And then Sam Sanko we played a lot with, too.
Sam Sanko, yeah.
She was a pianist and
she
singer.
was definitely in the vein of artists like Tori Amos. I always thought was probably her biggest influence.
Yeah, she's really creative, really cool.
Great voice.
I have recordings of Race Car X. That
was John's band.
Okay.
Powwow, Aquabats.
Oh, this is just a different name. Okay.
Yeah, that was them.
Okay. Does that cover it? I think that might cover it now.
Yeah, so hopefully that gives anyone who wasn't there a good idea of just how prevalent and prolific this scene was.
Right.
So, a lot of shows both just in the town and going on at our high school. And a lot of records being made. Mm-hmm. And that's when we started our record label, which was Shit Ass Records,
yep.
Which was a Biff thing. But I made some albums for a few people. So yeah, I just wonder how many small towns this kind of thing goes on in these days. But what your band, Mystical Union, was kind of short-lived, but Pepper's Ghost was definitely more of a mainstay, more of a staple.
Mm-hmm. I know. I was trying to remember
more popular among the town, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mystical Union. We were the first band on the bill on that big first show. So I feel kind of cool, being a part of that. I'm trying to remember what happened to us. I think the lead singer, guitarist guy Bobby, I think he went to a different high school and moved away or something.
How did you meet those guys?
Through Martina.
Martina, who was the singer of Pepper's Ghost.
Yes, right.
Who went on to play in Matson Jones.
Yes. Yes, very talented woman. She taught me everything I know. Thanks, Martina. But yeah, anyway, they were just kind of neighborhood friends with Martina. So I met Bobby, and then we were playing. And then Mason Bassick was our drummer. Then we had a guitar player later.
I forgot Mason.
Yeah. He's a good guy, good
drummer.
Didn't even
remember him being in.
Yeah, but we were short-lived, yeah. But then we had Andrew was our guitar player, little teeny guy.
I can picture his face. He was kind of short.
Maybe that was his last name.
Kind of almost athletic, he looked more like a jock.
Maybe that was his last name, because I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's a long time ago. But yeah, I think they moved away, and then we focused more on Pepper's Ghost again, or I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lot of fun. Martina and I, she wrote all the songs. Very poppy.
And you had other drummers in Pepper's Ghost. You had Alec.
Yep.
And Adam
Tisdale.
Frank.
Adam Frank were our two, main drummers. I think we had one or two others that were just real short-lived, but yeah, it's a good time.
And maybe I can remember your one of your big songs was Little Debbie.
Yep.
Little Debbie, there's no one I'd rather cheat. Little Debbie, I'm really sure you'll understand. Please, please don't tell me why.
Another favorite was Fish-Eyed Lily. I liked playing that one a lot. That one had a good bass line. But yeah, Little Debbie. Really kind of girly poppy songs.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of like the girl pop band of the scene.
Yeah, like a little bit influenced by like Brugge Salt, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Cool.
that's another interesting thing to bring up is like what kind of bands were these? And I don't really know any other way to describe it other than to liken it to another band. Like
Sure.
if Pepper's Ghost was a little bit like Brugge Salt, then Biff. Anyone listening to this knows who Biff is, but Elysium was definitely like. Well, we evolved into different things, but we were like I always think Tool meets Pink Floyd with some Nirvana in there, but done pretty poorly.
Oh. You guys were like good.
Because we had the keyboard, we had Brian on keyboards.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yep.
So we were pretty experimental and
That was like later on Elysium.
yeah. And then there was Bastard Squad, which was way more punk.
Mm-hmm.
There was a girl I knew so well. She came over, the tears began to fall. There was a girl I knew so well. She came over and
Everything. Yeah, they were like kind of harsh. Not harsh. What's the word? I don't know. Gritty punk.
Yeah.
Gritty punk band. There was like something for everything in the scene.
Then Old Dodo was way poppy.
Yeah. They were, I don't know. To me, they were-
Dodo was way poppy.
Yeah. They were, I don't know, to me, they were like the gods of the Parker scene. I loved them so much. They were they just blew me away. They're all like, it seemed like really advanced musicians, I guess. And so then to someone like me, it was like, wow, just really mind-blowing seeing them play.
Yeah.
It was
Well, they
really
were,
cool.
I mean, I'd say the majority of the scene, with exception of maybe Pepper's Ghost and Old Dodo, the rest of us couldn't really sing.
Really?
I feel.
Out of...
I mean, Jeff was a great singer, Liz and Sam.
Yeah.
But like, compared to Martina and Brandt,
Yeah. That's probably
they were
true.
great singers, and
Yeah.
that was a huge part of why those bands were so good, or why they were set apart from the rest of us.
Yeah, I would agree. I tried to sing. I was listening to tapes today. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried.
Well,
Martina worked on me well.
You
And
did
she had a
better
lot of
than a lot of
patience.
us, trust me.
I'll stick to bass playing.
No, you're great in that Under Sanction song.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
He's got a new song. Have you heard that?
Oh, I haven't listened to it yet, Matt. I'm sorry. I will tonight.
Cool.
I hear it's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
As usual. Yeah, Matt. Well, I guess he was in Biff during the scene.
Yeah.
During the Parker scene.
Yeah, so Matt joined in 99, like fall of 99.
Cool.
Right before we put out Biffmas.
Oh, Biffmas. Right. Was he on Biffmas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, he was there. You know, like with Seth, I don't know if he'll be here later or not, but I'm wanting to ask him at some point, like, what was his perspective? Like, did he catch wind to any of this that was going on? Because I don't know what year he moved here, but he was, I want to say maybe 99 or something.
Probably. I just go by, like, his junior year.
Yeah.
Our junior year. So what year would that be? 99-ish? 98-ish?
Yeah, 98, 99 was our junior year, so.
Yeah, so he was there for that year, as far as I know. Yeah, I was thinking about that today, too, like what it was like for someone who was a casual fan, a casual listener, or like who attended these shows, like what it was like for them, if it was as big of a deal as it is to us, you know? Because it seemed like it was just something for a lot of people to do, and they came. We had pretty good turnouts a lot of the time. Yeah,
people definitely enjoyed the shows. Some of them got pretty rowdy. Some of them were broken up by a few angry towns.
Right.
People who are, so my mom's boss was Jerry. Okay. Was his name. And yeah, he became angry on several occasions due to, because the big thing was mosh pits weren't allowed.
Yes.
And that's what everybody wanted to do.
Right. That was difficult for teenagers in the 90s to not mosh.
Yeah. So that was always a huge problem.
Yes. Because a lot of the bands were also aggressive, too. So
sure, that's
just natural for kids to want to do. So, yes, on occasion, it got broken up.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's good turnouts, and I mean, we probably helped out a lot of kids to stay out of trouble too, because there was something for them to do at least once a month.
Yeah, on a pretty regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was thinking too that at least a lot of the bands I knew and spoke to, hung out with, didn't do drugs or didn't like drink a lot or anything. So I thought that was relatively clean cut scene. You know,
that's I didn't
good.
think about that, but because I didn't. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how that is what happened.
Yeah. Because
you'd think a ton like a town with a ton of kids playing music, that there'd be a lot of drugs going on, but.
Right. I don't remember. It was pretty straight edge. As far as I knew. I don't know. Maybe people afterwards were like getting high in an alleyway, I don't know, Parker, but it wasn't like overly prevalent as far as I knew.
Yeah.
Kept us out of trouble, I guess, is the bottom line.
I don't remember there ever being drugs at any of the shows that anyone ever got caught with, or at least.
Right. We were good at getting away with it. No. So that was really cool. So it was pretty pure. It was like pure music scene going on. Yeah. Just everyone wanted to hang out and have a good time. I don't remember anything bad going down necessarily.
Just the mosh pit thing.
Yeah, just the mosh pit. That's because it wasn't a really big deal.
They were just really afraid of the liability.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know, just to finish up the kind of the comparison here.
Yeah.
So Die the Flu, Custodian, Damaged Goods, they were like Deftones wannabes.
Yeah.
That was definitely their big influence.
Right. They were good. I was listening to a tape today. They were good. I didn't like Deftones at the time, or like that kind of music really. But I wish I did, because then I would have been a bigger fan at the time, because they were good. They were talented guys.
Yeah. I can't even remember. I can see their faces, but I can't remember their names. Or
just because I listened to it today, I remember Chris Knapp was the singer-songwriter. Well, I don't know if he was a songwriter, but the singer-guitar player. And
he was like the blondish guy.
Garen, I believe, who was in Old Dodo for a little while.
Yeah, see, I thought that he was in it.
Yep, Garen Haskell, yes.
Okay.
He was in once they became the custodian, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt Reichart was the drummer.
And he's the one that I can really see in my mind.
Yeah. Was he in other bands? I was trying to think of that today, too.
So yeah, they were most like Deftones.
Yeah.
John's band, the Race Car X Powwow, whatever, they were like Smashing Pumpkins influenced big time.
Yeah.
Trey Funk was like 311 or something.
Yeah. Right. They were huge at the time, 311. That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Biff has always been like Nirvana, Helmet, Primus.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So.
A little of everything. And then you got the two girl
Yeah,
singer-songwriters.
the two, Liz Clark and Sam, they were Tori Amos,
Mm-hmm. Annie DeFranco.
Annie DeFranco.
Yeah. It was cool.
That was a
A lot
big
of
Martina
everything.
influence too, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. She was influenced by a lot of those, yeah. Yeah, it was cool. So there's a little of everything. What was cool, I was thinking too, is that we would all play shows together. Like, it didn't matter what type of music you played. It wasn't like we would, I don't know, not allow certain bands to play because we're doing a girls only night or something, or
Yeah.
boys only night. Like, we had
was-
a little of everything.
Yeah, it was really, we all supported each other and
Yeah.
would listen to each other's sets and
It was, it's like no other scene. Like, sometimes when you go to shows, the other bands aren't as supportive of you, or you want, it was really cool. It was like a brotherhood of musicians in Parker.
We've come to realize now that we're in our 30s, and so Seth and I, our other band, Remember the Radio, have been playing out a lot lately, and John, our singer, was telling us that, we really need to find places to play that are all ages shows, because adults in bars don't give a fuck about whatever band is playing, and teenagers are the ones that are way more interested in music.
Yes.
So that's why we want to start looking for
Yeah. Where that's
where
hard.
they're gathering.
Well, even speaking of that, even like we were lucky to have a few different venues around Parker, including the high school. Ponderosa let us play a few times in their auditorium. But it was hard being a teenage band trying to like play out, and like
Oh, yeah.
at the time you had to get work permits.
Work permits.
I don't even know if they do that anymore, to play at a bar or any place other than just like a community center. And it was even hard to find community centers outside
Yeah,
Parker.
I remember we used to play at Cafe Freddy's,
Yes.
which was just a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and then like coffee shops, Beetle Beanery,
Yep.
and
A couple outdoor ones.
Biff and Elysium played at the Lions Lair, but that was we had to get work permits for that.
Mm. Yeah, like I
And
don't
we
think
had
they do that
not
anymore.
only like get the work permit, but it had to be notarized and all this stuff.
Oh,
like
wow.
Parental signatures. It was a big deal.
Right. So then bringing it back to us now, trying to play to all age shows, like where would you even start? It seems hard. It's hard for bands these days.
Need to, I don't know, meet some kids, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably find a small town.
Well, and I bet, a lot of them would think we were amazing too.
Yeah, right. They'd be happy to have you.
We've got 15 years on them experience.
Right.
But yeah, some of those first shows, like, we had to get rides from our parents too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't think I drove for a while. I mean, Martina drove me around a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if they're away from Parker, that was kind of hard. Like the Cafe Freddy's shows. But I remember even then we had good turnouts. It was really cool. It's just like really supportive people.
Mm-hmm.
We were lucky.
Yeah, the only thing that I think maybe it's just my perception, but I feel like because in 8th grade, Elysium put out that first tape that was so bad that like we were at least like made fun of by some people for a while, but it came back around and we got better. But I totally think we deserved it because that was a really bad tape. There's another Biffcast all about that tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, bless your hearts. You guys kept going and stuck through and really made the scene happen for everybody. So everybody should be really thankful for you guys blazing through,
Yeah.
making it happen.
Well, yeah, I couldn't imagine a better way to spend your teenage years.
Yep.
I feel very fortunate for all of it.
Yep, we met a lot of great people. A lot of people we still know now, and a lot of people are still playing music.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder I bet a good chunk of all those bands that we listed are still playing music, which is awesome. It's just, again, kind of just the pure musical heart,
Mm-hmm.
being so corny, but a lot of people, they just have the music flowing through their veins and it's never going to go away. It started in high school as a teenager and keep going like you guys.
Yep.
Martina is still playing. John Rushka still plays, Adam, all those guys.
Yep.
Be fun to look up some of these people and see what they're still doing, if they're still playing. Like I said, I bet they are.
Sure.
It's just it was more just mostly about the music, which was what was so cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there's anything else to say.
I guess not. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, thanks for going down memory lane with me.
Thanks. It was a pleasure.
I'm gonna attempt to interview a few other people that were on the scene, including Mr. Horeshka.
Cool.
So everyone can look forward to that coming up here soon. For the Biff Podcast, I'm Dave. On behalf of Joe and Seth, thanks again, Rita.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Go Biff.